Well, good morning. Trucker Todd here, and time for another video. All right, folks, on Friday I had a video come out. As a result of it, a lot of crap happened on Friday, including 2 big phone calls with Dart. I feel like we need to address those things in this video, and we're going to do that, but we're going to do it as a part of what I had regularly scheduled for today. I'm kind of behind on videos. I took 2 weeks off, or a week and a half, and so I've got a lot to catch up with. As you guys know, we've postponed the Wednesday 60-second rants so that I can put out 3 videos a week and try to get everybody caught up. As of today is April 25th, and after this video, the next 3 videos are going to be videos that I previously released and then pulled from YouTube. And the reason is I want to show you guys that the problems I'm having here have been ongoing for a long time. I didn't want to make negative videos. I didn't want to say negative things. I wanted to work things out. And some of these things I've been working on since December. But you reach a point where conversation breaks down, negotiations break down, and the truth needs to come out. Now, if you're looking at me right now and thinking, man, that guy looks tired. A lot of guys have said that. You guys know that I've told you I'm having trouble sleeping. It's been really stressful on me. And so for that reason, I just need to vent some of this stuff out. Now, let me say this. The money's gone. And I'm going to give you Dart's side of it in this video as best I can. They're going to split hairs and say I'm misrepresenting or something, but I'm going to do my best to be fair to them and try to give their side of the story. I do not expect to give or to receive any money further from them regarding this, but it would be nice if, well, we'll go into that in a minute. I'll tell you their side of the story, and then I'll tell you what I'd like to see happen. All right, folks, give this video a thumbs up, share it on your social media platform, make sure you're still subscribed, click that bell, select all, so that you receive notifications when future videos come out. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into today's topics. Here we go.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down, flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round, for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
Alrighty, we're back. Alright, the first thing we want to do jumping into this is I want to tell you about this Mudflap situation. So a lot of the problems I'm having is just because I'm on the OPI board. Dart, for example, their dispatch drivers typically stay east of I-35. And so a lot of this is because I'm way out in the west where I run a lot, and they just don't have shop networks set up out there, and they're not equipped to deal with as much out there. They're not as familiar with the area, in my opinion, things like that. And so also when it comes to lumpers, when it comes to detention, things like that, a lot of times they're dealing with the same customers over and over, so they've already got pre-established relationships for those things. And when I'm dealing with brokers and lumpers and stuff, a lot of times it's brokers and lumpers that they maybe haven't done a lot of EFS checks with. And most of Dart's freight on their dispatch side is drop and hook anyway, so lumpers is not something that they do a ton of to begin with in dry van, and then when they do, it's with companies that they have long-standing relationships to do that with. So that's why I consider and say they're a great place to work, but I've got all these problems, and I'm just trying to decide what my future still holds. As of the date of this video, the 24th of April, I still work at Dart Transit. I know a lot of guys have thought maybe I left, things like that. That has not happened. I'm still weighing my options and deciding which direction I want to go. So let me talk about a few more little problems I've had, and then I'll talk about the Friday phone calls. So when I was running out west, I had a trailer Mudflap that turned up missing. So they were trying to find me a shop, couldn't find one. I went to a few and they were either out of Mudflaps, or one place I went, they didn't have a tech on duty. And so I just told them finally, I said, hey, if I can find a Mudflap somewhere and buy it, will y'all reimburse me? Yeah, send us the receipt. They gave me an email. So I finally found one at a TA, and their computers were down when I got there, but I was like, man, I've been looking for a couple of days. Can y'all please figure out a way to sell me this Mudflap? And they, general manager heard me. He come over there. He figured out a way to sell me the Mudflap. $32.25. I got a bolt kit with it so I could replace the bolts, and I put the Mudflap on. Took me almost 4 weeks to get that money back, and that's me calling 2 or 3 times a week. I've said in other videos that lately the biggest problem I've had is getting reimbursements, detention pay, things like that, reimbursed in a timely manner. Lumper receipts, which is ironic with what happened with the other one. But anyway, so I felt that was excessive. Every time I called Road Ready, I was told, oh, it'll be on your next settlement. Oh, we're working on it. We just got to work on it this morning. My supervisor's working on it. And I just felt it was an unreasonable wait for a $32.25 Mudflap. Now, I know there's going to be some of you naysayers out there. It's only $32. You should have ate it. And maybe I should have, if it had been on the truck, I probably would have, instead of having it come out of my maintenance account. But it's not my trailer, and it's not my responsibility to pay for the repairs for the trailer. So then a few days later, I'm in Lubbock delivering cotton, and I'm splitting hairs here because they got real technical on me, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. It was a short time later, maybe a week later, but a few days to a week later, I'm delivering cotton in Lubbock. A forklift breaks down in my trailer, shoots hydraulic fluid everywhere, all inside the trailer. I've got pictures, and matter of fact, I'll put some pictures in here right now so you can see it. So here you can see the hydraulic fluid all over the ground. It really made a big mess. This is why we had to get the outside of the trailer washed. Then inside, you can see the forklift. He tracked it everywhere. Hydraulic fluid all over the floor. They wouldn't allow me on the dock, so some of these pictures, it's the best angle I could get. There's the forklift. He was stuck. He couldn't get out. Since it was the hydraulics, he couldn't lift the cotton, and it was just a mess. They said they'd never had this happen before. There's kind of a side view there of the wall inside the trailer. You can see, hopefully, that it's just everywhere. And another picture of the forklift wheels. I wish I could have got up on the dock. I could have got you a lot better pictures. And there's some of the puddle afterwards. After I pulled away from the dock, I could show you better. Now back to the video. And so now that you've seen that, you see the kind of mess it was. Normally on the dispatch side, DART would pay for a trailer wash every so often, and they might have even paid for a trailer washout. On the OPI side, where you pick your own loads and run broker loads, it's always the driver's responsibility. However, the broker said that since it was a result of their equipment at the place I was delivering to, that place was going to pay for it, to go get it cleaned up, the inside and outside of the trailer, and they'd reimburse me. So I went to a truck wash. It's about a mile away. They washed it out inside and out. It was $84.50, I believe, was the amount. Now it took the broker 2 or 3 weeks to get the money, and I had to really hound them and chase them to get it, but they finally paid it. It took DART another 2 weeks to pay me after they received the rate confirmation. Now they're going to go back and look and say, it wasn't 2 weeks, it was 11 days or something like that. Anyway, whatever it was an excessive amount of time. Now I also need to point out that DART doesn't pay weekly. They pay after every load. So there were several settlements in there where they had the opportunity to pay me. It wasn't that it didn't fall in a pay period or something like that. And I've said recently in a video, and I've told them, that lately I spend more time doing collections work than I do anything else here except driving. More time than I spend pre-tripping, post-tripping, anything. I'm spending a ton of time doing collections for stuff that is cut and dry. And it makes me wonder about these companies that pay you 70 or 75% and you never see the rate confirmation, if you're really getting all the money that they say you're getting. Or these companies that say, we pay detention if we get paid detention. How do you know? I've had stuff here at DART that the broker went back and added detention or something on there, and they sent the rate confirmation to DART, but they forgot to send me my copy, and so I never got paid it. And then I go in there and look in the app and see it on the rate confirmation. Call DART and they're like, oh, we forgot about it, we'll put it on there right now. Had I not caught it, it would have never been on there. Now, I'm not saying there's anything dishonest or anything going on there. I realize they're dealing with a lot of drivers and things fall through the crack. This is why you need to look at your settlements and rate confirmations if it's applicable to you, and make sure you're getting everything you're supposed to get. Now, enough about that. I could go on and on. I've got more. The next 3 videos are going to be past videos that I released and then pulled. They're going to say rebroadcasted after the title so that you guys know the videos I'm talking about. And it's other times that DART tried to cheat me out of money. And those other ones, they eventually paid me. And so that's why I pulled the videos. But now that we're developing a track record here, I feel that those videos are relevant again, and I'm bringing them back out. Now let's talk about the, so it'll probably be May 4th, but I've got some more stuff, current stuff we need to talk about that'll come out May 4th. But let's talk about these 2 phone calls. So the first one I got was my fleet manager called me. I missed her call, and she sent me a message, I think on OmniTrax, and it said, hey, when you get a chance, I don't remember how she sent it. They're going to split hairs about that too. She contacted me in some format with words and said something to the effect of, when you're in a safe place parked and can look at an email, please call me. And that's not verbatim, I'm paraphrasing, and I'll tell you why I keep saying all this here in a second. And so I was driving looking for a rest area somewhere to park, and her boss, and I don't know her title, it's either operations manager or terminal manager, called me and wanted to talk. And I've talked to her 3 or 4 times before. She's probably one of the nicest people in the company, very easy to talk to, very knowledgeable, and we had what I would describe as a very productive conversation, probably somewhere around 35 or 40 minutes long in length. We covered a lot of topics, and you'll see why I'm saying all this stuff as the story progresses. But at one point she made the comment, "You're not special." Now, I could have taken that out of context, and I didn't. I said, I know what you meant. What she meant by that is you're not treated better or worse based on being Trucker Todd. And so I didn't, no hard feelings there, but it made me wonder about trucking companies. We as truck drivers know we're really not special at most of these companies. We're just a number, a warm body in a seat. Even if they know our name, when we're not there, they're saying unit number such and such. I'm gonna turn off my truck so you can hear me better. And so I kind of let that one go off my sleeve, didn't worry about it. I said, I know what you meant, no hard feelings. We had a great conversation. Basically, DART's perspective, as I understand it, regarding the pay, they honestly feel like they paid me correctly. They have some accounting software issues that make it a mess. She tried to explain it to me one time, and she came up with that they owed me $245. She wanted to get the payroll guy back on the phone. I refused to talk to him. I told her all it's going to do is upset me more. And so she and I talked. We had a great conversation, and I do not believe that I'm going to get that $330. Now they're calling it $335 instead of $345. Whatever the number, I'm not going to get that back. And I'm okay with that. But what I'd like to see is some changes made. She acknowledged that they have some shortcomings in payroll on the software side. And I explained to her that I know for a fact on QuickBooks, you can line item delete something if you make a mistake. And that 580 should have come off of there. Now, you guys know when I'm in a situation like this, I always try to see it from the other person's side. I always say, what if they're 100% right and I'm 100% wrong? Well, in this case, if I was 100% wrong and they were 100% right, and they don't owe me that money, they did overpay me, then had they deleted that $580, we wouldn't be going through all this drama. I would have looked at my settlement. I said, it's a little less than what I thought it was going to be, but all the numbers are right, so must be right. What we've done here is create a lot of hard feelings, a lot of mistrust. Dart feels like I called him a thief in my last video. To the best of my recollection, I hadn't gone back and rewatched the video. I did not call him a thief, nor am I calling him a thief now. What I'm saying is I have experienced and witnessed other companies that I even know a fleet manager that got fired for stealing EFS checks. Know his name. I've talked to him personally several times. He admitted to me he did it. And so it happens. And when there's money that we can't explain, I want to know where it went. If I didn't spend it and they didn't spend it, where did it go? And so it is what it is. It's not going to come back. They're not going to pay me. I've got to accept that. But I would like to see something to fix it for future problems. So if they're not going to pay me and they really don't feel like they owe me, that's fine. But at least tell me, even if it's not true, because I won't know. Say, hey, we're making some changes to the software, so hopefully this never happens again. I would never know. I'm not going to see the software. But at least I would have some peace of mind knowing that, hey, they're trying to make this better. Right now, I've got nothing. We think it's right, and that's the way it is. We'd be happy to explain it to you if we can figure it out. But even when they try to explain it, sometimes they get confused. So it is what it is. I'm not saying anything negative about her. I really, really like her. She's great to talk to. And at the end of that phone call, I was ready to let bygones be bygones and forget that we even had an issue. Then that afternoon, the vice president of maintenance calls me. And, well, let me back up. First, he sends me an email. And now, let me remind you who this guy is. He's the one, you can go back and look at my videos. I've never said a negative word about him. Generally, I call him a good guy, and I explain that he's helped me a lot in the past. Both of those things are very, very true. I could give you example after example, especially my first week back at DART back in September of 2020. But anyway, in his email, and I'm paraphrasing, he basically called me a liar. Said that we didn't talk on the phone, that we talked by email. I said, if you listen to the very next sentence of my message, my video, I say that I was mistaken. It was an email, not a phone call. Again, splitting hairs. That's why I've been mentioning all this splitting hairs stuff. Then he said the conversation that I said I had with Road Ready, where they told me that what's your concern and what do you want us to do about it? He says that conversation never happened. He listened to all the phone recordings. Well, when I got him on the phone, then he admitted it happened, but he thought I took it out of context. When he said that, I said, how else could I have taken it? When somebody says, what would you like me to do about it? How else can you take that? When you tell somebody your engine's knocking and they say, what do you want me to do about it? How else can you take it? What's your concern? I mean, I told him that. He said, I'm confused. I don't understand. I said, it's a simple conversation. I'm not sure what you don't understand. I'd be happy to clarify. So anyway, it was not a productive conversation when I talked to him. When I hung up, I was more mad, and it was a shame because that morning, the first conversation, I was ready to delete all these videos, bury the hatchet, start a new day, no hard feelings. He feels like, And well, both of them kind of feel like I called the company thieves. I've explained that already. The conversation kind of digressed between me and the vice president of maintenance. I explained to him that I felt like certain shops within the network pad the tickets, add things that aren't needed, and he said that never, ever, ever happens under any circumstances, that they're not incentivized to do that. I felt like he was trying to put words in my mouth and steer the conversation to get me to say things that I wasn't going to say. Several times he said that I said they were incentivized to do it. I said, I've never said that. I have no idea what their pay structure is or how they get paid. All I know is if I get a repair at one shop and 4 days later another shop does the exact same repair, either it wasn't done the first time or they changed a part that didn't need to be changed. He mentioned at one point, well, maybe it didn't get updated in the computer. And I said, remember, I was a service writer for a couple of years. I said, well, part of a mechanic's job is to do a visual inspection. If they pull that filter out and it looks brand new, they should ask maybe the previous shop, the driver, have you changed this filter lately? And not just blindly change it. But some of this is going to be kind of gray to you because you haven't got the May, I think it's May 4th. The first Wednesday in May, I'm going to tell you about that experience where I traded in that 2019 Kenworth and got this 2022 Peterbilt. I'm going to give you a detailed description of that deal and answer. Some of this video is going to make a lot more sense after I do that video. And by that time, I'll have either worked things out with them or I'll have decided to move on to greener pastures, and we'll be able to discuss that at that time. It's not an easy decision for me. I love it here. I make super great money here. I know anywhere else I go, I'm going to make a lot less money. But as I mentioned in the early part of the video about the bags under my eyes and the being tired and the stress, I just don't want to fight anymore. And if you have to drag people and force people to do the right thing, and if when people know they're wrong, instead of just saying, all right, Todd, we made a mistake, you feel like they're trying to cover up, or you feel like that they're just in total denial. At one point, I asked this vice president of maintenance, I said, how many people would you say are at that shop? He said, I don't know. I said, maybe 10, 12 techs? He said, yeah, okay. I said, so what you're saying is they're all above reproach. None of them have ever made a mistake. None of them has ever got greedy. Nobody's ever misdiagnosed something. Nothing. He said, oh, I'm not saying that. I'm sure there's been a mistake here and there, but the same could be said about truck drivers. Exactly, but truck drivers aren't working on my truck for $100 and something an hour, $120, $140 an hour. I'm concerned about their ethics when there's stuff on my receipt that shouldn't be on there. And I offered to send him receipts, and he basically told me, even if I see it, I'm not going to believe it. And I said, well, then I'm wasting my time. We might as well end this conversation, because your guys wrote that receipt. They said, your truck needs these things, and this is what we fixed, and this is what we charged to fix it. That's what a receipt is. And if you're now saying that the information on those receipts might be correct, might not be correct, you won't believe it if you see it, why are we talking? I'm not going to change your mind. And I was there firsthand. You're not going to change my mind. I know what I saw. And so, needless to say, I was really discouraged Friday when I got off the phone with him, because this is a guy I think a lot of. And I'm still, to this day, I'm not accusing them of theft. Well, the two people I'm referring to. I don't know what's going on in the shop. I'd love to figure it out. I'm not saying the VP of maintenance has done anything wrong. I'm not saying that operations manager or terminal manager, whatever her official title is, has done anything wrong. I like them both a lot, but it's I used to have a sales manager that'd say, it ain't about the money, it's just about the money. And yes, I do get paid a lot, but I want to get paid everything I'm owed. I didn't write that contract. You guys wrote the contract. And the contract says if I do A, B, and C, I'll get paid this, this, and this for A, B, and C. And all I want is what the contract says. If you don't like the contract, change the contract. You made it, I'm living by it, and you should have to live by it. And I realize sometimes it's inconvenient for you. And I realize better than you know how many guys don't read their contract and don't know what it says. But I did read it. I read it in class. I ended up getting the second truck I wanted instead of the first, because the first guy just blindly signed it and ran out the door, and I sat there and read every line of it. So I know exactly what the contract says. And I've gone back and reread it a couple of times. And so I'm going to wrap this up. This video is a lot longer than what I wanted it to be. As you can see, I'm still really passionate about this. It still really upsets me. And dang, the other phone's ringing. So I'll wrap this up. Take that call. We'll catch you on the next one. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.